Hello and welcome. Today we're looking at one of the biggest challenges and opportunities in the used EV market, battery confidence. And one question that still dominates the EV purchase decision is battery health. It's also one of the most difficult areas for dealers to explain, justify, and ultimately monetize. That's where Aviloo comes in. The Austrian-based battery diagnostics expert is aiming to bring a new level of trust to used EV sales through independent battery health testing and certification. Unlike traditional methods that rely on vehicle data, Aviloo calculates battery health independently down to the cell level, delivering results in just a few minutes. Alexander Millinger, Senior Sales Director, is going to help share what it means for dealers on the ground. Alexander, hello.
Hello, Amy. How are
Welcome.
you?
So let's set the scene first of all, Alexander. Battery health is often cited as the biggest unknown in used EV and plugins. From your perspective, how critical are battery diagnostics in building buyer confidence?
It brings clarity, brings confidence, and also trust. I think it's quite important that the battery will be diagnostic and not just a readout.
Right. Okay. So let's move beyond the basic data. Many dealers are still rely on a simple state of health readout. But what are the limitations of that approach, and why isn't it enough in today's used EV market?
Okay, because first with the readout, just show you the calculated state of health and won't do a diagnostic. So the readout won't show you if there's any defect on the battery, if there's any damage in the cell. So therefore, you need a battery diagnostic.
Okay, just give me a sort of snapshot of the landscape at the minute. How many dealerships are using state of health testing?
So the readout, as is implemented also through the OEMs, quite a lot. So, but the diagnostic, we're developing the market, and we see that we have three major partners in the UK, like BCA, Cox Automotive, and Copart. So, where battery diagnostic is one of the major topic from them, and also the dealer looking into it, and like Renault, Nissan, so they're all working with us together.
Okay, thank you. So can you clearly explain the difference between a standard readout and independent battery diagnostics? You know, what essentially do you get if you use Aviloo technology?
Okay, so for the readout, so you just get a calculated value from the BMS. So when we look into the diagnostic, so what we are doing, so we analyze the BMS system, all the cells in the battery, we get a lot of data points, and we look into how the car was charged, for example, how was the car drive, for example, and we get everything of this information to bring to our laboratory, the battery cloud. And then where we're testing over years, so many cars, we see then what should be the battery have to have a diagnostic SOH value. And this shows then the health of the battery.
Okay, could you offer a real world example where that difference has made difference materially in terms of a buying or pricing decision?
Yes, I'd like to share the two examples. So, for example, one employee want to have his company car. It's a high-value car. I don't split the name of the OEM, but then he went to check the battery through the OEM, and then they get the SOH value readout with 100%. Then they did the Aviloo test, and they saw that the battery have roughly 40% of cell defects. So this is one example. There's another example. So what's happening that a car dealer sold a EV to a customer, then the customer complaining about the range, and they found out that the battery has a defect. And then as a car dealer doesn't have a battery diagnostic system like Aviloo, So they have to reimburse the customer. They have to pay back the bank with interest. So it's a completely financial damage for the car dealer at this moment. And what we are doing is we try to also protect the car dealer, that they are going more confident and they are more open to the EV market.
Yeah. Okay. So just could you outline the commercial impact for dealers? Like what is the tangible thing that you're seeing from dealers using these certificates in terms of pricing, margins, and speed of sale?
Yes, I can absolutely share this. So, and there's a change of the picture, because in the beginning last year, so we're talking about this, that you increase your profit when you use a battery diagnostic from Aviloo. What we can say now, because the market is creating so high much value, so that you have no financial damage. So you don't have losses, because the competitor is using Aviloo, for example. He sells the car to 20 to 30% faster, with a higher margin on the vehicle. So, and therefore you're prepared for the market. Instead of, if you don't use this, so you are behind the time. So because the time has already changed.
Okay, so you talk about transforming the battery from a perceived risk into actually a selling point. So how does the battery health diagnostics report change the way dealers present used EVs to customers?
Yes, you see it. For example, when you're looking in the auction, one of the big auction houses in the UK, they are using this battery certificate to clarify that the value, not just from the vehicle, but also from the battery, is 90 or 100%. So, and this is the most important value for the market. And from my perspective, what we're seeing, especially in the UK, so the people are running in front of our door, and they want to have a battery diagnostic, because they want to be a part of this change of the EV market, that it's growing.
Yes, you talk, obviously you have Austrian experience and probably wider European experience. Is the UK adopting state of health battery reporting quickly? Yes, quickly enough. Yeah.
We can just say, for example, in the end of 2024, 0 of 5 of the customer were asked for a battery check. So in March last year was 3 of 5, and then from September on, 5 of 5 customer asking for a battery diagnostic, that they are trusted to buy a new EV.
Yes. So in your opinion, do you think it's becoming a standard requirement in used EV sales, similar to like a service history or mileage checks?
Yes, I think this should be the next step, so that we get a health check like in the MOT, so that the battery will be checked yearly, so through diagnostic, so that we also see the degradation of the battery, and also stabilize as a standard for the market. At this moment, everything is not regulated, but we see the demand is there.
Okay, so could you tell me what dealers need to know in terms about the hardware and the software required to do these testing reports?
What they need to do, it's a quite easy one, because we have this small hardware. So you connect this to the OBD. Then it takes around 15 seconds to connect to a normal car like a Volkswagen or Porsche. And then you just wait 3 minutes, and then you get the full result, diagnostic result, in your email inbox. And then the test is done, and you can use then also an anonymized certificate through JPEG to advertise on other platforms.
Right. Okay. So how quickly is it going to become a standard? How soon could you say most dealerships in the UK will be using, if not Aviloo technology, some equivalent?
Yes, it's like workshop tools. So I see that we are talking with big car dealer groups, not just in the UK, also who's operating European-wide. And I think the challenge will be now 2026, 2027, where we get all this demand, and we see more and more car dealer groups are changing. So I can tell you a list of all the car dealers. Big car is already customer for us, but I want to keep them confident. So they have to allow to share the names, but you will see it like at your channel or also on the other channel where we are, and also on the websites of the car dealer.
Okay, one last question. It's becoming a differentiator at the minute because, as you say, about 3 to 5% of dealerships are using it. Are those dealerships using it as a marketing tool?
Both. So one, to protect themselves for financial damage. And the 3 to 5%, I have to correct you on this one, is an old number. It was in the beginning last year. So the number is already in the two numbers figures. So, and also on marketing, because when you ride on your car dealership, you get your battery check on our compound. So the people are already feeling trust, and they're getting there because they get a full diagnostic.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, Alexander, what would you recommend dealers to do to learn more about Aviloo?
So reach out to us. So you can contact us directly, but also through our reseller. We have a whole team in the UK, almost 10 people who work in the UK and supporting with education, with seminars, and also on-site training. So we have a huge service package. So not just selling a product, we are educating the market and supporting with our team in the market that they also give you a hand. So to do the test and get comfortable with this. And for example, our head of brand director, so she's supporting also in this way that we get POS materials. So what we arrange for the customers, so that they can show also that they're part of the new community, of the EV community, and that they can present then EV battery diagnostic.
Yes, great. Okay, I'll leave it there. I would like to learn more. I'm sure a lot of our dealership audience would like to as well. But thank you very much, Alexandra, and best of luck.
Thank you.